What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Dolphins on Duke. This week we got the People's Champ, Nolan Smith, assistant coach for the Duke Blue Devils this year. But as always, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of our uploads. Check us out over on YouTube. That's where we post clips from all of our podcasts across the network, and reach out to us on Twitter at TheField68 and my personal Twitter at Dre_Dawkins. Hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll see you next week. All right, so we got my brother back this week, the unofficial mayor of Durham, People's Champ, Nolan Smith, assistant coach. What's going on, man?
Man, not much, man. Thanks for having me on.
I appreciate you coming back, spending some time with us. So my first question is, with fans back in Cameron this year, what's that been like? How exciting has it been to have the Crazies back up and running?
It's been great. Hey, look, just to start on that, Coach Forbes last game, Wake Forest head coach, big time coach, big time human. One of my favorites in the league. He comes out last night to start the game. He's like, I like Cameron a lot better with no fans.
Yeah, I bet everybody does.
So I think that's the perfect first question, because that was still fresh in my mind that he said that. But I think a lot of people realize, like, look, with no fans, it really wasn't Cameron. It was a different type of basketball without fans, and especially here for us at home, it played a huge factor. I mean, that's 8 points that we didn't get, just not having fans. And we lost a lot of tough, close games here last year with our team that we had, and games that if you had fans, I think we win those games.
Yeah, I agree for sure. I tell people all the time, Cameron's worth a few points for sure. At its loudest, or when the Crazies are there. So another question is, I know you guys have been casual all year with the pullovers, quarter zips. So are you like pro casual, or are you like, we gotta get back to the suit and ties? Because me personally, I like the casual look.
Yeah. I'm very pro casual. I'm very pro casual because I think it showed us, one, why were we wearing suits? Ask yourself that question as a spectator or as somebody in the business. It's like, okay, we were wearing suits for the fans. Since you took fans away and everybody went to it, so why are we wearing suits for fans? There's a lot of different avenues we can go down with that one, but
yeah,
that's what we're wearing suits for. I love the fans, but if y'all would rather see us in suits, why?
Right.
I can actually be comfortable and coach and show my guys to get into a stance in game. Man, you gotta be in a stance. Like, however I want to express myself, I can do that way more freely than in my Hugo Boss suit, where I might rip my pants. In a suit is just very different. And we're coaching a basketball game. We're not going to church. We're not going to a funeral. We're coaching a basketball game indoors in a very fun setting, especially Cameron. I think it's very appropriate for coaches to be comfortable. And I think a lot of coaches have done that. I've seen some SEC schools go back to the suits.
Yeah.
I talked to some of those assistants, and they're not very happy about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, your dry cleaning bill's got to be a whole lot nicer than normal.
Don't let me get started on that, Dre. I was dropping off my suits 2 times a week, 2 or 3 suits at a time, 5 shirts. Dry clean bill about $55, $60 each time. If I'm doing that every single week in the season, that's adding up.
Yeah, it adds up, man. It adds up. So we know Coach didn't come out the second half. Everybody's worried about him. Is there any update how he's feeling? Expect him to be back Saturday?
Yeah, Coach is feeling good. I think Coach just needed to get some rest, and he got some good rest yesterday. We had a day off. It's been a very tough stretch for us. A lot of traveling, a lot of road games and everything. So I think for him just to get some rest, Coach has just turned 75 years old, and he's still coaching like he's 45 years old. He's always on go. He's always watching film late at night, early mornings. He still doesn't sleep. He still just has that DNA that he's going to work. And that's who he is. That's who he's going to be until end of this thing. Hopefully the end of this thing is April. That's who he's going to be. So, man, sometimes your body just tells you, look, you need to rest. So
Yeah.
he got some good forced rest good for him. And I think going forward now, when we do have an off day, we're going to make sure that coach, takes that day to actually rest and not come into the office like he would normally do and work out and get a lift in and watch more film and bike and his normal regimen. Just take that one day, coach, to just get some rest. But, we love that fire in him, and we know he's going to go out best and trying to be the best.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned it. Is it just me, or is this year a bit atypical with seems like you guys have been playing like a lot of games on top of each other. Like we've had a couple Saturday Mondays, which are always tough. And then even this past week it was like 4 games in 7 days or something like that?
Yeah. 4 and 7, 4 and 7, 4 and 8, four games, 8 days.
Yeah.
It's definitely seemed like it's been a heck of a schedule, heck of a stretch for us. And overall, I think our guys have done a great job responding to those games. Obviously, we've been a much better team on the road. We've handled our business on the road this year at a very high level. People are always the fans about Duke, oh, they don't play true road games, they don't win them. Well, we've done that this year. We've done that at a very high level, and we've also won neutral games this year. A couple of times we've got slipped up, really have been at home. And we think our guys are going to try and figure that out. Last game was a tough game where we played really good, and then all of a sudden, boom, something hit where our guys kind of relaxed. We got that big lead. So, that's one thing for us, is learning how to keep our foot on the gas throughout the whole game. And, when teams start making a little bit of a comeback, how do we respond and how do we limit our turnovers in those situations? But, our team's been very tough and tough-minded, with a tough schedule, and it doesn't get easier.
Yeah. You talk about, being poised down the stretch. In all 4 losses this season, you've had the lead at some point. Most of them had the lead down the stretch in the last couple of minutes. What is it that the team needs to focus on or change, about those last few minutes to turn, those losses into wins, especially heading into the postseason?
Man, honestly, we've had discussions, and we think it's really very simple. A lot of it's just attention to detail. And a lot of it just comes down to just grit and toughness. There are games, obviously, we know we should have won as a group. And when we went back and watched the film, it's little things like being in a stance off the ball. When you look at the Virginia game, there was a play that the ball bounced right in front of one of our guys, and he just should have grabbed the ball. He grabs the ball with 20 seconds, we win. It's over. And I think there's just a mindset thing where, like, it's not over until that buzzer goes off. We can't assume at home that we're just going to win. And the fact that we know every single game is a team championship game, especially in the way this year's league is set up. Every game, a team is trying to get into the NCAA tournament off of a win versus us. We have to understand all these factors heading into every single game and finish the job. We have to finish the job. We've been playing really good, tough defensive basketball. Offensively, we can continue to get better, but these are games that our guys know we should be winning. We just got to continue to change our mindset for 40 minutes.
Yeah. What have you guys learned about yourselves through this ACC slate? It's been a hectic schedule, playing a bunch of games, like we mentioned earlier. What does this team learn about itself throughout this?
Yeah, we've learned that it can be anybody's night. We have a lot of guys that it can be their night. And then we also learned that we have the toughness to win every single game that's put in front of us. We've shown toughness and we've shown grit. But definitely going back to the things as far as different guys, we've had different guys step up. Last game, it was Mark Williams that had a big time game. Game before that, it was Trevor Kills. There was a stretch there where Jeremy Roach was playing great basketball. Wendell's come through with big plays. So if we can continue to everybody can continue to go in that direction, Paulo's going to be Paulo. He's going to be fine. He's going through a stretch right now where he's figuring it out, because now every single team is going to throw doubles at him on the catch, doubles at him on the dribble. They might maybe throw a triple team. He's got to as a young guy, he's got to learn to figure that out and how to play through that. But he's going to do that because he's a competitor and he wants to win, but he's also a team first guy. And he's okay if there's a game where, he might not be on his A game, but he's on his C game and we win. He's okay with that. He's okay with it. He's comfortable with who he is, and that when Duke wins, he's happy.
Yeah.
He's happy. So that's one thing we've taken away from all this, that we got a team that's all about winning, that we got to keep figuring it out.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually had that one as my next question was, I know you mentioned Paolo, especially in that Virginia game, they were throwing doubles at him as soon as he caught it in the post. In situations like that where teams are doubling and sending a lot of attention to him, how do you guys, make sure he stays aggressive, because you need him to stay aggressive, you need him to be in attack mode, without pressing too hard and taking bad shots, but also not being too passive, where he's not getting any shots up or any, attacking the basket at all.
Yep, I think just figuring out how to get him the ball in different areas and throw off the defense so that they can't double. The double has to come from different areas, whether it's from the top and a high low, whether he's low, or whether he has the ball at the top of the key with the open side. Where's the double coming from? But at the end of the day, he has to be aggressive. He can't think about the double team, because if he's thinking about that, then it's hindering his first step, because he's thinking about a guy coming over to take a charge.
Yep.
I think if he continues to be the aggressor and apply pressure to the referees to call the fouls, but if he is shooting fadeaways, trying to avoid the double team, then all that does is hinder him. It stops him from being the player that he is. But so just continue to be aggressive and attack, stay in attack mode, and continue to make plays.
Yeah. So it's 5 more games in the regular season for the 2 tournaments start. Are there any things that you guys are focused on improving over the next 5 games, or things you need to tighten up over the next 5 games heading into the postseason?
Yeah, I mean, over these next 5, I think finish is a big thing we want to tighten up, is finishing the games and finishing the job. We've been really good team for 30 minutes, but not 40. We've been a good team for 20 minutes, but not 40. We've been a good team for 38 minutes, but then that last, you got to finish the job. And doing that and staying locked in for full 40 is a big thing for us. And then just offensively, making sure that we do not get stagnant. We have to move. These are things that we work on every single day in practice. We haven't had a lot of practice time with this. Make sure our guys get their bodies and get their rest. But today's a good day for us to have a really good practice, but just continue to reiterate to our guys and to our guards and to our perimeter that we have to continue to move. We have to hit and cut. We have to create those driving opportunities and lanes for our guys, and then just play together. Teams are going to plug. We got to make the kicks. And then when we kick, we have to be hands ready, shot ready, and ready to shoot the ball. We have guys that can shoot the ball, and it's all a mindset that they have to be ready to shoot.
Yeah. I've got this question a couple of times from my player's perspective, but I wonder, as a coach now, do you worry at all about seeding? Everyone's always doing bracketology, and they're going to go here, they're going to be a 2 here, a 3 here, 1 there. Is that something at all that you guys think about, or is it just we're focused on winning the game in front of us?
We're definitely more focused on winning the game in front of us. At this point, our guys, we've seen the best teams in the country. We've seen some mid-majors that are really, really good. So we know it's going to be a dogfight. Whoever we play, especially in this season, we know everybody's going to want to be that team that knocks Coach K off his last tournament. And I think our guys have that mindset. We don't care. I think our guys don't care if we got Gonzaga or Kentucky in the first game in the tournament. It doesn't matter. Whoever you line us up against in the tournament, when we get to that point, let's go. So we're not really worried about that seeding. Our focus right now is winning the ACC.
Yeah.
We have a chance to do something that we haven't done since you and I did it in 2010.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Is win the regular season. And I think that is it's something that we should do this year. And our guys know that, but taking that one game at a time is going to be very important. We have to take care of Florida State on Saturday and then get ready for Virginia after that. But one game at a time, and let's win this league. And then after we win the league, let's go win the tournament.
Yeah.
We did that in 2010. We won the regular season and the tournament. And after that, then you have some really good momentum. If you get a chance to cut some nets down and and then all right, that felt good. Let's go cut some more mess down. So
Absolutely.
that's our focus in these next last 5 games, and then heading into March and April.
Yeah. Before we continue our conversation, let me tell you guys a little bit about our partners over at Bet Rivers Sportsbook. If you haven't signed up with Bet Rivers yet, now's the time because they are offering a $250 match bonus for your first deposit. But what sets them apart is that they require just one playthrough to turn your bonus into cash money. With their new Rush Pay instant approval, withdrawing your winnings is safer, more secure, and more reliable. With basketball season in full swing, get in on the action by going to betrivers.com today or by downloading the BetRivers iOS app. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. I mentioned him earlier, but Wendell's been kind of the rock for the team this season, even without having to score a bunch of points all the time.
Yep.
How important has it been, to have him and his leadership on this team? And especially, he's out on the court, 38 plus minutes a game. So how important has he been to this team with his leadership and how poised he's been all season?
Man, Wendell's been big time for us this year, and he's definitely been the rock. He's been our leader. He's been our voice, and he's been a big time player. I mean, for him to have the season he's having, just shows that he put in a lot of work this off season, which he did. He elected to stay back here in Durham. He's from Charlotte, so a quick ride up to be here Monday through Friday. Then he'd go home on weekends, but he was here with Coach Will and Nick, getting in a lot of band work, learning how to run, learning how to jump, working on his explosiveness and his running gates. I mean, he put in a lot of big time extra work, but then he's somebody that's been in a lot of battles. He's went through last year with no fans. He's taking his hits.
For sure.
And one thing that molds a big time college player is adversity. Is adversity. He's been through that. He's a guy that hasn't been to the NCAA tournament. A lot of that due to COVID. A lot in both years. I think a lot of that's due to COVID. So he's motivated. He knows that he wants to make the NCAA tournament. But after not going 2 years, I don't think for him making the tournament is a goal. That's just getting a ribbon. I don't think he's trying to just get a ribbon and say, "Oh, I made it now." No, I think he's extremely motivated to go to the NCAA tournament and do something special, whether that's a Final Four or the whole thing. So just for him to continue to be our rock, for him to continue to get better and better. One thing for us as a program, we truly believe in our player development work in season. And our guys have really bought into that and what we do before practice and after practice. And he's been a guy that's really led that with our guards, just as far as, let's get this extra 20 minutes of work in, but let's be sharp. Let's be sharp in doing it so that we can keep getting better.
Yeah. And then AJ, has been on a hot streak to put it mildly, the last few weeks. How much of a boost is that giving the team, having him playing the way he's playing? And is that something, you guys as coaches could see coming before it happened?
Oh, man, AJ's an extremely hard worker, extremely hard worker. So when you see that, you can definitely see it coming. You can definitely see it coming. It's all about trusting your work. And we just kept telling AJ, man, trust your work, trust your work. I mean, coming into college, he had basically been off for 2 years where he hadn't played any games. In the COVID year, senior year, he didn't play. So he had to adjust and, get up to speed and get a feel for his game, make sure he felt right. And then finally in practice during that COVID break where we took 2 weeks off due to COVID, he really just started to come into his own, get the extra work in, and boom, we had those couple games right off of the COVID pause where he got some really good extended minutes. And then just took off. But I mean, he's one talented young man, and we were all just kind of waiting for it to come through, especially his teammates.
I mean, he's been talked about all summer, how talented he was. And I mean, how much was it just him just learning the game, where the talent is there, he just had to figure out how to just get it out of him and get it on the court. And he's got to get in shape. Like you said, he missed 2 seasons. So I assume that was a big part of it too.
Definitely. And he did a great job of getting extra running in. Every single day at the end of practice, you see him either by himself or with Coach Will, getting the extra running in. He was really the only guy doing that in certain points where it's like, okay, AJ's over there working. You just kind of watch him, and you didn't have to say anything. You just kind of like, okay, yeah, he's coming.
Yeah.
He's coming because he wants it. You know, he wants it. So he was putting in that work, just slowly getting in shape, getting the confidence, getting the feel, and then boom, it just hit.
Yeah. Yeah. That's big time, because I know from personal experience, the extra running after practice is not a fun thing to do. So
it takes some definitely self-motivation to want to get that extra work in after practice.
For sure. Yeah, because I definitely wasn't doing it voluntarily. That was all mandatory. So the other night, Mark gets the game-winning putback. But at first, they called it off, waved it off. Were you worried that they were gonna keep the call, or could you tell, like, no, that's a bucket?
I could tell it was off. I could tell it was off in the moment, but obviously in the moment you just want to believe that it's in.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go to overtime because it shouldn't have been in overtime. So if you go to overtime, it shouldn't be in overtime. Your gut's just like, why are we here? why are we here? So really, for me, I was just waiting for our scoreboard people to show the replay. Here in Cameron, our scoreboard is still pretty not up to date yet.
Hey, it's better than when I first started. We didn't even have video when I first got there. It was just the numbers.
Yep, we got the video. It was a little base, like little dotted.
Yeah.
We got the video now, so I'm literally like, yo, show the video.
Yeah,
like, we're the home team. Let's see it, because the referees would like to keep it to themselves. Let's see it so that our crowd can see it, and then that's going to hopefully mold their decision. And they had to make the right decision. I think Coach K would have came out from the back and if they would even try to make the wrong decision. But the ball was way off.
For sure.
Mark made a big time play. Paulo made a big time drive to go up strong and get it on the rim. And Mark followed up even while they were trying to box him out. And he was not going to be denied on that. And he was, right place, right time, and went over two hands and finished it strong.
Yeah. Was it difficult for you guys? Obviously you had Coach start the game, and then, knowing you're not going to have him in the second half, is it difficult to make that pivot and still go out there, coach, and try and win the game, knowing that, you're worried about Coach, hoping he's doing well in the back?
Yeah, it's definitely difficult. That's just that adversity, that unexpected adversity is one thing. To deal with in the heat of the battle. Because you go into that locker room at halftime, Coach is obviously not right, so you're focused on him, you're worried about him, but then you're like, okay, well, the team's sitting in the locker room waiting for us to come in there. Boom, John, you got it. Let's go. Coach Shire, let's go in here and talk to the team. Boom, but Coach Shire is also worried about here, so he hits them really quick. We got to go in here, check on Coach, make sure Coach is right. What does he want? What does he think? Is he able to tell us what he thinks? He just coached the first half. He might have some thoughts. He's not able, so we quickly sit down. Before you look up, it's 8 minutes left in halftime. Back in, tell our guys what's going on, because you can't not tell them. So they need to know, okay, Coach Shire is taking over for the rest of this second half. Let's go. Same game plan, same mindset. Let's go win. And I think the guys really responded to that. But it's a lot. It's a lot to be thrown at our guys in the heat of the moment. But they handled it well.
Yeah. So obviously played for Coach for 4 years, and then you've been coaching with him for a number of years now. What are some things that you've learned about him, working with him as a coach, that you didn't know, or that's different from playing for him?
Man, I think really just the preparation is probably the biggest thing that I didn't know as a player. I knew he prepared, but this is a different level. I had no clue, like, how much time he actually spends on a game-to-game basis, changing what he thinks, how he looks at it. The little coverage changes that we might make. Obviously, we know our Duke defense is going to be our Duke defense and what we do. But Coach's just attention to detail and prep is just at a very, very, very high level. And I've been around a lot of coaches at all different levels. His is unmatched. You know, just the preparation that he puts in with each game.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. That's all I got today. I appreciate the time. Good luck Saturday and the rest of the season. I'm hoping to be at one of these games. So hopefully see you soon.
Yes, sir. My brother, I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
Right. Take it easy.
All right.